T, you're up first. Okay, well, before we begin, everyone, hello, welcome to this week's AMA. Your words in there, bruh.
Yeah, that was
Someone
Crypto Kobe.
introduced.
Crypto Kobe
Ah,
and his
that's the
dad.
one. Someone introduced me with a similar name, Crypto Cubby. Yeah, he brought his dad, bro. I was mad. His dad looked exactly like him, and kind of wore the same kind of clothes, and yeah, I was kind of mad. Okay, so anyway, welcome to this week's AMA, guys. We were traveling all the way back home. It's quite a long journey for me to travel home, so it's like a 13, 14-hour flight. So couldn't be able to make the Wednesday AMA, but so this is just going to be like a little recap of the last week or so, last 2 weeks. Not like a full-blown AMA, but we still will answer some questions, and then we'll have a normal, proper whole AMA on Wednesday because next AMA is in a couple of days anyway, right? So, just wanted to say that it was super cool meeting everyone at the event. It was great fun. I was in New York, but Ryan attended both events. Personally, I had tons of fun. I know I don't sound so enthused, but it is 4 a.m. But yeah, it was great fun. I was so happy to meet you guys. A shout out to Vegito, Benji, Crypto Cobby, a bunch of other people that I met there. It was great fun as always. And it's super cool new influencer called Fred Day. And on that note, I think we can begin.
Day. Yep, let's get into it. Welcome everyone. It feels like forever. It's been 2 weeks since we have had the chance to really sit down with you guys and talk. So let's kick it off with the this week's Blood Legion. Obviously this week we have two Blood Legions since we didn't pick the last 2 weeks. Our first Blood Legion is Jax. Jax Teller, who you might all know, has been kicking it in the lair for quite a while now with everyone. We see Jackson all the community events, at all the game nights, and almost everywhere, and just consistently supporting, and not only supporting us, but also supporting, the Vamps and the Lair. They're always helping people, solve their problems, answering their questions, wherever they're needing help. And then our next Blood Legion is going to be Shovelmeister. So Shovel actually helped KA the other day, when KA had lost his vamps. KA, who's an OG holder, who's been here for a while. Shovel actually, purchased their vamps for them and gifted them back to them. So shout out to them for that. It's both, not only it wasn't just Shovel in that situation, who was a good person, but just Shovel and KA, who are both very good about the situation, and as Vamp should have taken it. So shout out to Shovel, shout out to Jax this week for being our Blood Legions. And also for anyone, any previous and current, these new, including these new Blood Legions, for who haven't received their badge or their gift card yet, we're going to be reaching out to you guys very shortly. Don't think we forgot. So yeah, congratulations to Jackson Shovel. Welcome to the Blood Legion. We look forward to seeing you guys flex your new badges.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that intro. Okay. So next one I shall be talking about is on the events. So personally, these events are something that we can't get enough of really, and it's something that's dominated the conversation between the elders. You guys are amazing. It's been amazing, and it's been amazing to be able to meet you guys, right? So we put these events together with the help of General Mushu Park, and there's a ton of work to get everything pieced together. But frankly, the start of the show was the community. And then we also put together the London event with the help of Shami. Those of you who may probably know by now, he's the guy in charge of curating and helping us with our champagne. Um, yep. We rocked in New York with one of the coolest events out there in a top tier venue. I heard it was very enjoyable. I wish I could have been there. And our party in London to celebrate the launch of our champagne was unbelievable, for the lack of better words. The London event was just amazing, from the decor to how everything was laid out. Was perfect. It fit the theme so well. I heard the New York event was also very good. I wish I could have made an appearance and attended the event, but I heard my boy man like Rion held it down for me over there. So that was perfect. And next time I shall get my way over there. I hope you guys have a warm welcome for Man Like 2D. I almost said a different name, but Man Like 2D.
So the next thing is on the champagne. The first thing is going to be about Shami's new bottle, which I'm sure some people will have seen on Twitter, and especially if they were at the event, because that was unveiled at the beginning as well. I know most people weren't expecting that as the event was focused around our champagne, but Shami also wanted to unveil his new champagne as well, which actually tops his previous record of the world's most expensive champagne, which was $1.8 million, but is now sitting around $2.5 million with this new bottle. It's a double-sized Magnum bottle, and it has both a King Crown vamp. I know a few people spotted quite keenly a few weeks ago that was purchased off the market to be used for this bottle, along with his two vamp presses and two golden bats. And it also has a mutant ape on as well. The focus of this bottle is around MIG as well, being both the Bored Ape and SVS artist, and this is currently been sold and priced around 2,500 ETH, bringing the $2.5 million. So this is how some of the press was focused at the London event as well. I know there was a comment in the layer earlier that the press were focused around SVS, the SVS champagne, and then around Shami's champagne as well. And there were some connections made there as well, as there were quite a lot of news outlets there. So you should see some of the press and comments from this roll in as well along the next couple of days and weeks from the people who attended there. But then also along the side of our champagne, it was always our plan that the first tasting and first event, apart from the couple of tastings we did over the last few months, was going to be a wide-scale launch at the London event. So hopefully everyone who attended in London, I'm sure they did tell us at the end of the night that everyone who got a glass wanted one. So hopefully everyone tasted that who attended, and they have got the first taste and can't be waiting to get their hands on a bottle. But Freddie's currently working on the claiming mechanism for this, on how you'll be able to claim and get your bottle shipped to you. We're not going to talk prices yet, but one of the main things is that the price of the blood is not going to be the focus. So we do want it to be an attainable blood cost, whether you have a vamp or vampirus. We don't want to price it extortionately where you won't be able to get a bottle if you want one. At the same time, as we've mentioned in a few AMAs previously, we do want to focus on some of the original vamps from 2021 to make sure that they get their bottle. As a lot of people know, there are only 1,500 bottles of this Generation 1 Collector's Edition champagne. So we do want to, as much as we want everyone to get their hands on one bottle, we do want to focus on the original holders as well to make sure they're able to get their hands on one. But at the same time, we do want it to be open to all. So at first we'll be slightly limiting it depending on the demand to just see how it flies straight away, to see how many people want to claim their NFTs and claim the bottle straight away, and then gradually opening that up. But obviously as the claim comes and the blood amount is announced, we'll be putting that all in announcements. But that's going to be one of our primary focuses now. Now that the event's out of the way, we want to be getting it into the hands of everybody who couldn't attend.
Yes, thank you very much, Rion, for that. I have to not be so formal with these outros. Okay, so next one, just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the market sentiment and what's going on. So obviously, Jesus. Okay, okay. So obviously, as we all know, we are in a pretty bad bear market right now. Market isn't looking ideal. World economy and everything else as we see right now is in pretty dire straits. But we've been working around the clock to make sure that our project not only survives but thrives during these market conditions. And with countless PR at the London event, we've made some stellar connections that will help us see this through. When we come on the other side, you'll be quite happy with the syndicate. So essentially, the market is not being ideal right now. And obviously, when there are things like this, for some of you guys, it might be your first cycle or it might be a couple cycles. But the most important thing I would say, and things that I have said over time, is to survive, right? And you know, I would say that the most important thing is to survive and just make sure that you can, make it out the other end safely, don't worry about trying to make it all back or chase losses, stuff like that. Just focus on, you know, kind of like what we're doing here. We just focus on surviving and, doing the best to kind of create as much value as we can while we are in these market conditions so that once that we do come out of it, things will have a pretty strong turn of events in our favor. Yep, T.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to it, as 2D kind of said, sustainability is going to be the key goal. We want to make sure that we preserve our resources through times like this, where the moves that we make don't have as much of an effect. Um, so when the market does revive and we're able to make a strong comeback, we want to make sure that we're in a good position to do so, and we have the resources to support ourselves at that time. We don't know when that's going to be. It could be months, or years down the line. But when things do sort of correct and people do sort of have the attention span to focus on their NFTs again. Um, and things are looking a lot brighter, we're definitely going to be making a kickback then. And the best and most efficient thing for us to do right now is to really just take the time to strategize and to come up with a plan to build. We need to make sure that we know what we're going to be building these next months, and that we're not just sitting on our hands, not doing anything. So, obviously, during times like this, our community is one of the most crucial factors in sort of keeping things active and alive. So we encourage everyone to continuously, join us each week, or whenever we do these AMAs, and keep up with updates, the Discord, check in with one another and whatnot, to sort of keep things going. But our another big goal is going to be keeping the socials alive. We understand that it's important to sort of keep an active brand presence. So, big thing for us is going to be keeping the socials going, making sure that we're showing off our benefits, our capabilities, the things we've done in the past, the things we're going to be doing in the future, and overall just providing as much content as possible. So yeah, guys, just really just keep your heads up and just know that we're here for the long term, and that's really what we're thinking about. So yeah.
Perfect. So, essentially, how this is going to work now is, so we kind of gave a brief overview, some updates, quick updates, right? Um, so now we're going to have some, we're just going to quickly zip through some questions which we have. One sec. Okay, we're going to just quickly zip through some questions that we have prepared and seen throughout the layer. And we're just going to quickly go through them and then maybe answer a few quick fire ones at the end. So I think should I just ask myself these, or okay? I'll ask you the first one then,
Okay, okay.
Rion. So how many people showed up to each event?
Yeah, well, this is probably not the question for me. Maybe we should get like a third party to answer it because halfway through the night I slightly lose coherence. But I would probably estimate that the New York event got around the 100 capacity, and the box in London got around the 125 capacity, which was kind of what we were aiming for on both events. You might have noticed in the announcement, sort of on the night, we did drop the address so that if anyone was close, they could attend, which I know in New York especially, people were able to do so, and I know some people who were just in New York for NFT NYC pulled up. I know the Alpha team, who weren't originally on the list, pulled up as well, so it was great to see some more faces, especially towards the end of the night. But yeah, both were around the 100 to 125 mark, which was a great turnout. We hope to have the same and even increased capacity for the future events.
So thank you very much, Rion.
The
So you
next
asked me the
photo,
next question.
the next question was, what was it like meeting the holders in person and putting faces to the names?
Okay, so it was amazing. You know, when we pulled up to the box and before the curtain opened, me and Rion were in the back, getting ready to give the speech. And I have a selfie where me and Rion took one. I remember that.
Yeah.
And we were so nervous before the curtain opened. It was just so intimidating, right? But when the curtain opened and the lights shined,
This when we dropped the professional photo. This
oh,
is the
should we drop one now? I have a very nice one. Should I post it?
yeah, you posted it.
Okay, one second. And then
Wait,
I
is this
hit the
your one
crowd
or
with
the
a
professional one?
hello. That's a professional one.
Okay, okay.
I'm not putting no selfies in here. Okay, okay, let me find it.
Wait, I have that
It's a bit of a
anyway.
doxy photo, but this is a very good one. You guys want to see the photo? I'll post it. Just like that
Oh,
photo.
I don't like that one. That's a bit obscene.
I like this one. Oh, look, so at all the love hearts. See, they love it. The love hearts are for you, Rion.
No, that's all you.
No nudies 2D in it. So essentially, if you watch the speech video, Ryan was sipping on that drink throughout the speech. I assume some factor of nervousness.
Yeah,
You
well, I
know.
was just letting you do the speaking, I was doing the modeling. I think it worked a perfect tag team.
Yep, yep, yep. Oh, Benji, I was waiting outside when 2D arrived. You had the full entourage. I'm not sure about that yet, but yes, yes. So, I think meeting you guys and putting some faces to the names was amazing. It's a very humbling experience, I would say. So many of you guys coming up to me. Not many of you knew who was who, I think, but after me and Rion gave the speech, there was a bunch of people coming up to talk to me and Rion, and I think it was amazing. It was super cool to be able to put some faces to the names, and so many of you and so many of you guys kind of coming up to me and sharing some stories and stuff like that, right? So I think it was a super humbling experience. It was super fun as well, and it couldn't have turned out any better, I think, personally. 2D asked for Tom Cruise angles to make him look as tall as Ryan. Yes, I actually am 6'2". So yes, 2D is very tall. Not very tall, but I'm not as tall as Fred Day though. Yeah, we're
Oh,
roughly around the same
yeah.
height in the top.
Freddy was knocking
Yeah,
into the door frames.
and he was locked into into the corner. Okay, okay. So essentially, it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience, and couldn't have been happier. I can't wait. Hope maybe next time we can be in a more median location so we can meet as many of you guys as possible. But yes, Freddie, can you speak and tell us about your shots?
Yeah,
Go on,
Freddy, can you
Freddie.
just give us like a line or two about your experience of the event?
Queen Mars has summoned you.
This is where he pretends his mic is not working.
Come on, we're waiting. We're not moving on till you answer.
He's probably asleep.
Nice, awake.
Oh,
Oh,
hello. Oh, it was a great event. I don't remember many of the shots though, but met many of the holders, and that was a fun time.
my favorite part was when he
Yeah,
sculled the beer with caramelon.
in the lair. Should we bump the photo somewhere?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't think we should. Oh no, no need.
I
No
think we
need.
should.
Okay. Yeah, I'm finding it. 1 second, guys. We shall put the AMA on pause for a second. Photo.
Oh, here we go. Freddy, can you translate the caption for us?
Oh, that's a great translation.
Yeah, that's all you get.
You're gonna make us open translate.
No.
We have a live translator here, and I'm changing tabs.
Uh, okay.
You're a big, lovely guy. Hope you
Yeah,
get
Freddie.
home well.
Freddie is very nervous to meet you guys, I will admit. So the moment he got to the event, he proceeded to get absolutely shit-faced within 30 minutes. Yeah, the other co-founder, not saying who, wasn't nervous, but he was also shit-faced within an hour. Okay, next question. Oh, Ria, next question is again for me.
Oh, sorry, I have to change back for my translate tab. It is, did you consider the event overall a success?
Yes, I think the event was a huge success, and everyone that I spoke to at the event, even before they got shit-faced, was super happy with the outcome, and just being able to connect, connect so many of like people that they've been speaking to in the lair and stuff. So nice to see everyone get along, and all in all, a super humbling experiences. You guys made little man like 2D feel like a little bit of a internet celebrity for a couple hours, But yes, yes, and it was a huge success. Um, yes, Ed Wolf, no worries, Mars. We'll do a little recap. It's just not much going on today anyway. Okay. Next question I have for Rion is, what defines a successful event to you guys?
Well, this is a very good question. I think before the events, because we've been hyping them up for quite a while, because originally we did plan events to be one of the big things around SVS, even from back in 2021. So we did want to bring events almost sooner than these June events, although they had been in the planning for the last few months. So it's almost like we've been planning them for so long, and then finally they were rolling up, and it was time for them to happen. So we didn't really know what everyone would expect about them, because there was quite a lot of attendant people filling in the form who wanted to attend them, but we didn't know exactly how many people would make it, how many people would enjoy the event, and exactly what they would be looking for from the event. One of the main things we wanted to achieve from the events would be that everyone would turn up, and then it almost wouldn't be like it would almost be like meeting people for the first time, even though you've known people for the 9 months. So we just wanted to almost make sure that everyone had a good night, that our plans for the events, with it being the London in the Champagne, and then the rooftop bar in New York, people who were attending NFT NYC, just being able to speak to each other. But being at both events, I think that both of them went down much better than we expected. The turnout was great for both of them, and it was almost the perfect capacity for both events, where it almost wasn't too crowded or too empty, and people were able to. I know I met almost everyone who attended both events, so it was a perfect way for everyone to put faces to the names and meet each other. We have got a few other plans for events, whether them being on bigger scales than this, where we can host almost an unlimited capacity. I know Halloween is going to be one where we're going to be focusing on a big scale event as well, being the perfect time with the vamps. But then also, as we've mentioned over the last few months, smaller scale events as well, whether that only be a couple of people, like when we took the 2 people to Dubai, London, and Paris, or even smaller events as well, like we've mentioned, where almost as a team we might not even be in attendance, but if there was like a small NFT conference going on, or there's a few vamps in New York or LA for the weekend, setting up smaller meetups as well. So we do want to keep the meetups and the events as a big focus of SVS. We want to keep bringing the vamps together, and especially as we've seen, I know over the last few weeks as well, there have been more and more new vamps being purchased and more blue names in the lair. So bringing those people in as well, and showing them what the community of SVS really is.
Perfect. Wow. That was as fast as you could have possibly gone. Okay, so next question for me. Okay, yes, it is.
The next one is, there was a lot of PR at the London event. It will be great to see how this press transpires into connections for the future.
Yep, so there was a lot of PR at the London event. I'm just going to read a transcript from Benji Kaur, so I think it adds a little bit more authenticity to you guys, you know. Benji said, "I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it to the AMA today, but I just want to make a point around PR. London event was absolutely swimming with PR. I must have talked to at least 4 to 5 individuals from varying media sources, including some high-profile news outlets as well. As cooler, blogs, etc. was very cool to see. So add to that, they were generally interested in the project. Campaign was a big talking point, and they had a lot of questions about the syndicate in general. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so basically, same point here. Then, thank you very much, Benji. I was interviewed by at least maybe like 3 to 5 different journalists and stuff like that. You know, some of them tried to catch men like 2D lacking, but unfortunately, they don't know I am perma sober, and they can't catch me lacking about the lair. So, um, yep. Top caught one lacking. Should I explain
Yeah,
the story of that
yeah.
one?
Top Kid caught the Guardian lacking as well. He had
In
got a private interview
Guardian.
with her, so that hopefully that transpires into an interview at least.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I spoke to like 4 or 5 different PR people, news outlets, whatever you call. Some of them kind of did like a mock interview with me. You know, top top spoke to one. It all ended pretty much the same way. You know, just gave them questions to their answers. I mean, answers to their questions and some simple mock interviews. Some of them gave some cards. I gave them my Discord so they could follow up and stuff like that. And Top Kick lost a bottle of Ciroc to one. So anyway, the next question.
Oh yeah, the next question is, what are the plans for the future? Oh, that is a broad question. What are the plans?
Well, the plans for the future, well, if we talked about online and SVS in general, are to survive the bear market, which I don't think will be a problem at all, and try to create and give as much value back as to you guys. And if you were talking about maybe, if we're talking about event-wise, we have some stuff planned maybe when the market turns into a bit more of a bullish sentiment. Halloween style event would be great. Venue-wise, location-wise, and what's possible is uncertain yet, but definitely. Um, we would love to do more of these because I think they're you know, perfect for everything that we're trying to do. Okay, why did London's very big surprise guest leave very early? Freddie, could you please answer this question?
Yeah, Freddie, I think you actually got the record for first person to leave of the night.
I would just like to say that I didn't want to leave. I got escorted out. So, you know.
You also were kicked out twice, right?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, the
next
security
question
was
I
very
have for
tight on the night, really.
in
It's quite difficult
yeah,
to leave your vicinity without getting booted out.
yeah, just
Maybe that
gotta
was
tell
just
them you
me.
paid yeah, just gotta tell them you dropped 100 bands for the event to
I
get that
didn't
back
see
in.
it.
Okay,
Top Pick should
next
have fixed
question
that.
is with NFT NYC being such a big deal, how was the reception at the booth for you on?
I don't know if this is a question for me. We probably should have had David up there and Thrall, who were the two men of the booth. I know they manned it very well for the 3 days of the event, and for the time that I was there as well, there was quite a lot of interest in the booth. NFT NYC itself, it was a lot bigger than I thought. It was spread across 8 floors, and there was quite a lot of booths, especially near the top. I think we were on the 7th or 8th floor, so we were quite near the top. So I didn't know exactly what the reception of the booth would be, how many people would know, because there were some quite large projects there as well that I seen quite a lot of people take an interest in. But I didn't know exactly what the reception of our booth would be. But I do know that a lot of people visited the booth. We had a lot of badges at the booth as well. Some people would have seen people posting there. We had NFT NYC badges that were specially made that were being handed out at the booth, and I think we had about 500 of them, and a lot of them were gone. So there was a lot of interest being shown at the booth. David and Thrall themselves, I seen Thrall. Thrall was escorting people over to the booth. You could probably hear him down on floor 3. So Thrall himself was the man of the hour as well, but David as well held it down, so it was perfect. I think the booth went down very well as well, a lot better than I expected as well. And then, as 2D just mentioned as well, we are looking at some more conferences and speeches and things where we can get the SVS name out there through July and August and further than that as well. So we are looking forward to being in attendance at more of these IRL events.
Yes, booth. Show up to some of these events if you want. Just a quick. We'll get some graphics and stuff made, and we shall announce it formally soon. But basically, I'll be in Singapore at the end of July, speaking at a conference. I have a panel with some other NFT names and shit like that. End of August, I'll be speaking at a big conference in Bali, I think, with quite a number of big names as well. So if any of you guys are going to be within the vicinity, please DM me. And maybe I'll try to get you guys some free tickets or something, you know? A couple of you if you're going to be around, you know? I don't think there's that many of the Asian boys or girls around. Any Gen 1, Gen 2, or the Gen 1.5s are around, just let me know. Okay.
So the next one is, what
So
are some of the biggest takeaways from the last 2 weeks of events?
I think the biggest takeaway from events like these is that not only can you have these events with holders, but then other people tag along. But basically, other people get to tag along and kind of who aren't really into NFTs, aren't in the scene, you know, plus ones and stuff like that. They kind of are involved with, they kind of get exposure to what we're doing and other things like that. So it's kind of adds like another layer of our influence, right? So there were some people who attended the London event who were like influencers or whatever, whether it be on Instagram or Twitter or some journalists or something like that. So you never know who that you may have an impact on, especially when it's such like a lavish, luxurious, you know, high profile night like that. So stuff like that, I think some of the biggest takeaways is that not only can you give back to your community, but it adds a lot of layer of marketability, PR, and other cool stuff like that, right?
Yeah, because
Although
that's what
some of the
Shami said
people
to
are,
me at the beginning as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
When he started planning the event, he was like, although the capacity is around 125 people, we don't want to just offer that out to 125 holders. We also want the PRs people to be there because although our number one focus is always going to be the holders, we wanted as many of you there. We also wanted the outside marketability, and that's also when he brought in this $2.5 million bottle as well. Because as much as the focus was on our champagne that night, with there being so many PR opportunities, obviously the world's record and catchphrases like that are things that we definitely wanted to coin on, especially with a vampire, two vampiresses, and two bats being on the bottle. As much PR as around that as well is also bringing and onboarding people onto the SVS name.
correct. Onboarding people, SVS, marketing, moon. Okay, next question. Is the next question for me? I stood up. Let me check. Oh, would you look at that? It's already been 40 minutes. Okay. Next question is, how much will the champagne cost? Do we know how many bottles there will be, and what will the process be like?
Yeah, so for a lot of people this will be a bit repetitive as we don't really have any new details for this quite yet, although these really are coming soon. This was always going to be our focus after the launch of the champagne at the event. We will then wanted to get it into everyone's hands as soon as possible. But just to recap the details, there are going to be 1,500 bottles of this Generation 1 Collector's Edition champagne. There'll be no more of these ever made. This is like a one-type batch. There was only 1,500 bottles available, and this is, our private label. This is our blend of champagne. So there will be 1,500 bottles. This will be done purchased through blood. So you'll purchase a champagne chalice NFT with your blood, and then you'll have the NFT in your wallet, and then you're free to do as you want with that. So you could sell the NFT, transfer the NFT to someone else, or you can burn it. So upon burning the NFT, you'll lose it, but you'll gain access to purchase one bottle of the champagne. So although we're not going to talk numbers yet, our focus through this is that we're not aiming to profit from this. We're not aiming to have the blood cost exceedingly high where we're spending tons of blood. This is just using it more of a process. So we want everyone to be able to purchase this chalice NFT if they want via blood. Our main limit is going to be that originally it's going to be one per person. Depending on how this goes, I mentioned earlier about us wanting to reward the people who've been here from 2021, so it should be where they're going to get access first. They're obviously going to be able to purchase one each, so this will be people with the early holder badge from purchasing their vampires back in 2021. But then this is obviously going to open up. We want it to be able to be in the hands of everyone. And then, so that's going to be the process really. It's going to be one per person. You can hold on to the NFT as long as you want. If you're not ready to claim the champagne yet, then that's fine. You can just keep the NFT in your wallet and you'll be reserved your guaranteed bottle. But then when you do burn the NFT, you'll have access to purchase it. And obviously the numbers for the blood and the champagne cost will be coming out alongside when we drop this NFT.
Perfect. Yes, I see someone said that he's going to buy 40 bottles and take a shower in it. Please post it for the culture. We shall go viral. It's going to be very, very amazing. Okay. Next question first. When is the next Bloodshot restock? Can Fred Day please unmute his mic and give us some
Okay, I think I'll say Freddie on this one. So obviously everyone knows that we are alternating the blood shop with the blood bags. So originally our plan is that the blood bags will be on the 1st and the 15th, and then the blood shop will be just about in between there around the 8th and the 22nd. Obviously the 22nd coincided with our New York event, and then 2 days later was the London event, so we were unable to restock on that one. And then we did almost talk as a team over the last couple of days as we've been arriving home as to how we're going to handle it, but we have actually decided that we're not going to drop a blood shop restock until the 8th, but we're going to make sure that there are almost 2 blood shops worth of prizes in there. We are almost restructuring it as well to make sure as many people get as many options to prizes as they want. I know a few people were upset after the last one about how fast the gift cards flew, almost instantly, and a lot of people missed out. So we are going to be ensuring that the gift cards are one per person and that there's as many of them as possible as many stores as possible, so that at least everyone can almost get some. Well, not everyone, but as most people as possible can get something, rather than a few people getting quite a lot of gift cards. So we will obviously, as we've done on the last time, announce this at least 12 to 24 hours in advance. So obviously don't be waiting around, over the next few days. When Bloodshop, when Bloodshop, when Bloodshop. We'll always post an announcement before it drops. But obviously the blood bags dropped yesterday, so if you haven't claimed yours yet, you've got a chance of getting a prize or a gift card in there. But apart from that, the blood shop should be restocking around the 8th of July. But obviously we will be giving you plenty of notice on that. Oh yeah, and I see Crypto Publican just put in the chat maybe 2 drops over 2 time zones. This is something that we did think about for the last one. We didn't end up doing it because we thought the heads up was enough, and almost with the 2 time zones, you almost still can't please everybody. But the 2 time zones is definitely something we can consider if that's something people like, especially because it's almost going to be a double drop of the blood shop. We could almost maybe drop one the day before, maybe one on the 7th, one on the 8th, or something like that. So that's something we can consider too.
Yes, perfect. And okay, wow, this AMA, which was meant to be a quick recap, ended up going for 45 minutes. It was only meant to be 30-minute AMA. So before we close it off, maybe T, you can give some merch updates, and then we can end it there.
Yeah, our merch people were actually over at NYC as well. They were telling us how they went over to the booth and they met David and Brawl, and had a great time. So things, we're still working with them. Things are unfortunately just taking a little bit longer than expected with all this NYC and London events. It took us a lot longer. To get things to them and to get things back and forth to one another. So now that everything, we're back and everything is settled, we're continuing to work with them. Merch wise, the first thing coming up is going to be the perfect pair packs, the plushies, and the nifty slabs. So that's going to be the first thing coming up. And then after that, it's going to be the rollout of our actual clothing, which is probably going to be the next significant sort of content we're going to start seeing on the socials. So yeah, so keep an eye for that.
Yes, keep an eye for that. Okay. I'm pretty sure the merch will be payable in ETH as well, right, Rion?
Yeah, so the merch, it's going to be, you can pay for it with ETH, I think Bitcoin, whatever you want to, all the payment methods.
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect. And on that note, I think that's it for this week. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll have another AMA in a couple of days. Obviously, the usual. We should have one Larry TV episode this week. Just working out the details. It was meant to be last Thursday, but obviously we were traveling. Stuff like that. So yes. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is Saturday night, so 40 listeners is still very a lot, and we appreciate you guys all the time. It was awesome meeting all of you, seeing all of you, and I can't wait to speak to you guys soon, meet you soon. And just on that note, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.